I'm Ray and this is TinyTableGames. Today I'll be playing the fourth episode, as I call it, of Final Girl, in which I have a new Final Girl and the same villain and the same location as I did in episode 3. This will be completing, effectively, the various iterations you can do with the expansion boxes that I have, outside of remixing the new Final Girl with the old Big Bad and, you know, the various iterations like that, but I'm not going to go through every single combination. I figure this will pretty much give you a good idea how it all plays out. That said, let's get right into it and I'll show you everything that's set up. So, in this episode, we have Final Girl Barbara, who's, as she rescues people, has remove 1 horror, gain 2 time, which is pretty amazing. Take any top item card, move 1 space, or gain a life. She also has 7 health, which is pretty amazing, and victims will move into the killer space with you, which doesn't sound like much, but the killer can really be a roadblock when you're trying to get people out, depending on how it goes. Additionally, when you damage an enemy in your space, you may do an additional damage for each victim present. So you kind of like rally in the troops, and for each victim saved, you gain more time. So, interestingly, in her case, you actually are going to do better if you always have 2 little cohorts running around with you. Of course, you have to make sure the killer doesn't finish them off beforehand, but nonetheless, we're using Inkanyamba again, as before, and we have the Killer Wrath and Divine Wrath locations, and as always, they start on 2. We're still using the Sacred Grove, but this time we have the Swamp Thing set up, which, as you can see, has people scattered all over the place. Which is going to potentially fuel up the Big Bad pretty fast. But as you may recall, he doesn't move initially. He just keeps winding up his Killer Wrath. And once that starts going off, then he starts moving and stabbing quite a bit. All right, so there we are. Let's get started. Okay, we got the setup. The item cards are already counted out. We've got the 10 terror deck, 10 card terror deck. I'll put it over here. Maybe it's a little more visible. Not that much more visible. All right. Well, anyway, the event deck, which is specific to the Sacred Grove again, and the starting horror is on 4, where time is set to 6. Barbara has her 6 tokens plus her 7th point being there, and whatever mystery number is under there. Same with the Inkanyamba. He's got 8 tokens, plus 1 for that, plus whatever's hiding under it. With any luck, we'll be able to open Barbara's Eyes Only envelope, which we were unable to do in the last game because she did not make it. All right, so starting out, action phase is the first thing that happens, and we have our standard starting hand. Now, the interesting thing here is that whole pick people up and stab with them. So to really power her up, you need to rescue people as fast as possible. And she will, I think, really just get her a couple items, have her some cohorts walking around with her, and she will be set. So the plan of action, because the exits again are over here, which is so far away from that spot. Over here, they're already sitting on the exit. You just have to get them out there. Oh, no, they're not sitting on the exit. They should be right here and right here. My bad. Got shuffled around. So that's less helpful. They're probably going to be the first to die then when that happens. So it looks like rescuing 4 people up there is the way to go. And then if these people aren't dead yet, circle back around with an item and those 2 dudes and start pounding on the bad guy. So moving fast is going to be key. Much like the cat running by. All right, so first thing we're going to do is a walk and attempt to make that happen, and may it go well. Okay, to make things a little more straightforward, I brought in my little dice tray. That way I don't keep knocking all the meeples around. I thought that'd be handy. So, a walk action, like I said. Hopefully 2 successes, but we will see. The horror is set at 4 at the moment, which is 2 dice, so here we go. That is 2 possible successes. Can I get rid of anything? Well, short rest always can go right out initially, and so can weak attack. So that's 1 success. I don't want to get rid of my other walk. The other 2 focuses, you'd think that's nuts to do that already, but it might be worth it because I can go 1-2 and get those 2 folks out right this second. So that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully roll better on the next round. So I cleared out 5 of the 6 cards of my hands, in order, hand, not hands, in order to go 1, 2, and spend 1 time. Now that both of those folks are at the exit, I can place them on Barbara's card, and they are going to go. She can't gain any more health. She's maxed out where she is. I'm going to say, lower the horror by 1, because that's always handy. And the closer you get to 3 dice, the better. Or should I just go for time? Time might be the way to go, because time will let me buy more cards. And the faster I can scoop up some people and start stabbing the bad guy before he really gets rolling, I think is the way to win this one. So we're going to go with time and take any item, take any top item card. So gain 2 times, so I'm up to 7, and take any top item card. Oh, let me pick a good one. Let's see, let me try the Welcome Center, because I'll never get over that far otherwise, and hope that it's a nice one. It is an aluminum bat. Hey, I'm not sad about that. Requires 2 hands, causes 1 extra damage. Whenever you inflict damage to the killer with the bat, you may immediately discard a minor dark power, including any health markers remaining on the card. Interesting. Because some of the special abilities that can come up give the bad guy a minor dark power, so he can actually get set up with 3 powers instead of just the 2, which is even worse. So that's nice. Scoot these over a little bit. In any case, it gives her an extra damage. Is it the best of all outcomes? I mean, no, there's some things that do better, like that golf club from the last game. But this isn't bad. I haven't seen a minor dark power come out yet, but I'll bet you if I did, I'd be real glad I had that. Okay. So there we are. And I didn't move the horror down. I left it up here on 4. Sorry about that. I have 1 walk card left. There's no reason to not use it. So maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I won't. But anyway, my goal is to head over here to the Groundkeeper Shack, where the last person died. I mean, would it be a horror movie otherwise? And we'll see what happens. Wow, 2 successes. I don't even have to throw away any cards, which is good because I don't have any more. So I lose 1 time and I get to move 2 spaces, and my hand is empty. So if I don't buy any more cards, I won't be doing anything next turn. But 1, 2. So I'm with those 2. I have to drag them back over here next turn. But I'm at where I can get another item at the Groundkeeper Shack. So that's not too bad at all, actually. And that brings us to the planning phase, which is good because I'm out of cards. So I need to buy movement. No question about that. So I will spend, and a search for sure. So I may do search, sprint, sprint. Because there's no way he's going to be activating the very first turn. We know that from last game. It's just, there's just not possible. His first increases are all just horror increases. And that's a problem, and I'll need to get to that. Eventually, I'll probably need to use this distraction card and lower the horror down, and that would be not terrible. But hopefully I can search and then sprint these folks out. And then, do I want a second sprint to get closer to them? Or at least, yeah, because then I want to pick up some buddies so I can be up to +3 damage when you count the bat, 1, 1, and 1. So that would be pretty awesome. So in case of if I bought the critical blow or something, that would be like 6 damage to him. So you could end this game real quick if you could show up with the mob. So that's awesome. All right, so I'm going to burn 2, 4, 6 on these. It drops me to 0. And that resets the clock, as it were. And we're now on to the killer phase. So step 1 of the killer phase is to resolve the killer action. If the killer wrath is at a 1 or a 2, which of course it is because we just started, increase it by 1, and we did. Remember, the killer wrath doesn't go off until a card tells you to do so. And now he targets a final girl or victim and stabs them. However, there aren't any present currently. The other thing to remember is the stupid groves, sacred grove locations, the red ones, here, here, and here. The divine wrath goes up a lot if you have people sitting in them, and there are several cards that try to get your victims to head there, which makes your life a lot worse pretty fast. All right, so first terror card, Fury of the Gods. That does not sound great. the first thing that's going to happen is an event. And then we're going to have lots of Divine Wrath problems. But let's start with first things first. Hallowed Ground. Okay, so we got the Hallowed Ground token, so that's what that token is. They don't tell you what it is until you discover it throughout the game. I don't put much stock in the supernatural, but even I can feel that this place is different. Roll a die and place the Hallowed Ground token on the wherever. Anytime you end the action phase in that space, gain 2 time. I think this is the first event I've seen where it's actually beneficial to the final girl. All right, so let's roll a die. That's a 5. Therefore, it goes in the Holy Groves. Which one's the Holy Groves, you ask? That one, where the killer is. I mean, that's weirdly appropriate, I guess. So I'll put this up here as a reminder. That stays in play for the rest of the game at this point, while I go hunting for the correct token. Not that one. There's some really odd ones, like the out of order token. Focus, there we go. The out of order token I think is hilarious. But in this case, we just need this one. So, anytime I end the action phase in the Holy Groves, which, hey, if I get over there before he starts moving, I pick up 2 time each round. Wow. This is shaping up pretty good so far, not to get myself overconfident, because we've only finished the event part of this card. Increase Divine Wrath by number of victims in holy spaces. There are 2. So, Divine Wrath goes up to a 4. That makes me feel bad, because discard 1 random action card, unleash Divine Fury. And then it increases again. Alright, so I've only got my 3 cards that I just paid dearly for. Hopefully it's a sprint and not a search. And the winner is this one. A sprint. Okay, well, I'm not happy about losing a sprint, but it's better than losing the search. And now increase Divine Wrath again, just like as before, so it goes up 2 more. So just like that, it went from 2 to 6. Which, so as you can see, it's a mess. That track is just painful. The only upside is when it gets to the top, there's ways of dropping it back down with the atonement and whatnot, which I may have to buy next turn just to keep a handle on that, because I don't want my horror going up that fast. Because right now, if Divine Wrath and Killer Wrath go off, which terror happens sometimes, I would already be at 1 dice, which yikes. So, I'm already wishing I'd bought an atonement card, but there's nothing I can do about that now. There's nothing to upkeep, so we're back up to the action phase, where I will attempt to do my action of sprinting. So let's see what happens. I still have 2 dice happily. And 2 successes. Thank you very much. That makes a huge difference, because if I had gotten the result where I have to discard cards, I don't have enough cards to do it with. Now, should I have done the search first? Yep, I sure should have. But at this point, I just wanted to make sure the sprint went off, which I guess is kind of pointless since I didn't have cards to do it anyway. But it felt right, and I'm not going to go backwards now, because that's just not how I do it. Let the dice fall where they may, as they say, if you ever read Knights of the Dinner Table. 1, 2, over to the exit with these 2 nice people. And I'm going to deduct 1 horror, so it's down to a 3. That's nice. I still can't give her a life, but the other little spot says move 1 space. That doesn't hurt. What space do I move to? I'd like to get rid of these people out from here, because it's messing up my... if they keep doing these Fury of the Gods holy space locations, that's going to be a problem for me. It takes me away from the dude. And I don't want to give him... He can move 2 spaces right off the bat, so he can still get to these people, so I guess it won't matter. So I think I need to go on a loop here, maybe. Yep. Take my free space to here, then I can try and scoop this guy up, move down here. There's another equipment spot down here at Lost and Found, so then I can circle around from the south, as it were, and see if I can't make more progress there. Okay, I can't use my search because I'm no longer in a search location, so I'll just hang on to that card. It cost me 1 time to do the sprint. Don't want to forget that. And now it's time to buy. So, buying an atonement for sure, because I don't like how that's going, so that takes me down to a 3. I need another movement card. I was unable to use the sprint last time, so I can buy it again. Also, I can now pick up all of the recycled 0 point cards, so that's nice. And I have 1 point left, so I'm going to use it on a close call, which is the only single point card there is, which is just a reroll. All right, so that's all said. This goes back to 6. The killer phase begins. He stabs whoever's there, but there isn't anybody. It's not on a 1 or 2 anymore, so it doesn't auto increase the killer's wrath. And we go straight to the terror card, which is why I think these terror cards are so extensive. Oh, good grief. Increase again. Increase by 2. Unleash Divine Wrath, which says discard 2 random action cards and lose 5 time. So wow, okay. That's terrible. That's debilitating. 2 cards, I guess. I'm gonna shuffle them up. Man. So I'm losing a focus and a focus. Well, I'll take it. I mean, yeesh. Place 2 new victims at the burial grounds. The burial grounds is, of course, one of the locations that you don't want people to be at. There we go. Which is, hey, at least it's right here where I'm going to head to next, so I still can't get rid of it. All victims adjacent to the burial ground move there. Well, okay, so now there's 4 people in the burial grounds, which is obviously going to max it out. And Divine Wrath, when maxed out, says discard all your action cards except an Atonement. That is just nuts. Okay. So that concludes the very bad terror phase. Killer phase. It's a panic phase. Nobody got killed, so nobody runs. Upkeep phase. I have no upkeep because I just have the 1 bat, so there's nothing really to mess around with. Action phase. Okay, I only have 1 action I can take that uses time. So let's make it a good one. Man, all those people piled up there. It's terrible. I have to do the Atonement. There's no way around it. I don't have 3 stars or 3 dice, but that would be really great. Can I get it down there? I lost both of my focus, so I can't lower it that much, if at all. Oh, shoot. All right. So we're going to have to try the Atonement as it is, just because I need to get that Divine Wrath down from 8. It's going to jump 5 points on the very next terror card, I'm sure. So what does that do for me? Well, it'll go up and then probably trigger, or possibly trigger and then go. If it triggers and goes up, I'll be all right. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Note the Atonement doesn't cost time unless you mess it up. So if I make this my last card, if you're already out of time, it doesn't matter. So I still have a close call, so we're going to start with the sprint. Got 2 dice and a reroll if I need it, so let's go. So sprint. Of course. Of course. I'm going to burn my time. If it gets to there, my turn stops immediately, the action phase anyway. So I'm going to burn my reroll for 1 point of, oh no, it takes 2 points of time. I can't do that. I can only reroll 1 die, but that's better than nothing, so I'll do it. So 1 die stuck at that. The other die, oh, come on. So they're still both that because the other one got knocked by the first die. All right, so I have to discard cards to make any progress as a runner. Well, that means the walks. I'd rather not lose the walks. Short rest and weak attacks out. How far does that get me? Well, that lets me move 2 spaces and I lose a time. Well, I was going to lose a time no matter what. 2 spaces isn't terrible, so I'll do that. I've accepted that there's no way I'm going to get rid of those people up there. Maybe the killer will move up there and kill him for me. So 1, 2. Until then, I'm just going to keep losing all my cards until I can do an Atonement. What really hurt, though, was losing all that time. That's actually worse. Okay, so I'm down there. I need to do the Atonement first. Sorry for the cat interruption there. So I want to do the search because I'm in that location and I can't do anything else. It'll cost 1 for sure, which will probably end my turn if things don't go well. Well, no, because I'll still be... oh no, the sprint cost me 1, so that puts me at 0 already. So if I search and it doesn't go well, I won't get to atone. So let's try to atone, because any successes, I'll still have enough cards to shred to at least make progress on that point. And I really want to get the Divine Wrath down a bit, because that's just too high. All right, so it's atonement time. Let's see 2 successes. That would be really awesome. Or it could just be 1 success if I discard cards, which only would decrease that by 1. My other choice is to not do that, and then the horror increases and I lose 2 time and my turn immediately ends. That's great. Okay, so I have to discard 2 just to preserve my last time so I can do my search. So I decrease the Divine Wrath or the Killer's Wrath by 1. There's no point in decreasing the Killer's Wrath because then it'll just increase it by 2 when it goes off, and that's pointless. Although he gets a movement if he goes up again. Yeah, this one's so high already, everything's terrible, so I'm going to lower this one by 1. Because immediately on the monster's turn, it's just going to kick it up to here. So is that a wasted though? I don't know, it depends what happens with that tarot card. If they do another who's in the holy camp area, none of this matters because it's going to go up 6 points, so yeah. All right, a waste of an atonement card, really. Unless it triggers the time first. In that case, yeah, it's going to be worth lowering the Divine Wrath first, because if it triggers Divine Wrath first, at least with this one, I only lose 1 card and 2 time, as opposed to 2 cards and 5 time, which was pretty much crippling. Okay, so I have 0 time. Figures. I've got 3 cards left, so on my next turn, even though I won't have any time to buy more cards, at least I can do some walking, which is exactly what I need with these 2 dudes. So it's time to do a search and hope that I can manage to roll 2 successes. That'll end my turn no matter what because of the time. The only worst outcome would be I just increase horror and lose time, but let's hope that's not it. 1 success. 1 success, take the top item from the card at your space and lose 1 time. Okay, so take the top item from the Lost and Found Center, which is the middle column up here. Whoops, oh, that's terrible. Spring-loaded. All right, trash can lid. Ignore 1 wound. You can use it 3 times. Unfortunately, it requires a hand. So if I'm using the bat, I'm not using the trash can lid, and you can only reorganize yourself during the upkeep phase. So for now, that's got to go in the backpack. That's interesting. I've never had a defensive item before. And that uses all my time, so the action phase is over. I have no time to spend buy any cards, so we automatically reset. The planning phase is immediately over. We're on to the killer phase. He's still just stabbing anybody who's in a spot. There isn't anyone there. I need to get over that grove and start picking up time, though. After I drop these 2 off, circle around and get in there. That's the plan. Okay, and now the tarot card. We're on tarot card number 3 of 10. Once we get to 10, it triggers the finale. All right, unleash Killer's Wrath, which in this case is increase horror by 1, up to 4. I can live with that. Increase that equal to the number, increase Killer's horror equal to the number of action cards in hand, 2. So I can live with that too. Skips right over a move and stab and goes right on to increase horror. Next, target a victim, move there and stab them. Okay, well the closest victim, my choice, I'll say this one. And he stabs that person, which increases his bloodlust count by 1. So he now is still, nothing's actually changed, but if it goes up 2 more times, we'll trigger his dark power. I would rather not have that happen because last game he healed every time he killed somebody, and that really made it harder to nip away at him. There is no upkeep because I'm not switching from bat to shield, I don't think. although maybe I should. Am I going to attack this round? No, I don't have the cards to do it. And if he comes after me, all right, at least this way I can automatically ignore a wound without even having to roll. So for the moment, she's switching to defensive mode, looking like bargain basement Captain America with her trash can lid shield. And time for Barbara to kick some more ass. So, gonna do a walk, which makes sense because that's one of the only 2 cards I have. And hope for rolling 2 dice still because of where the horror track is. A success. 1 success means move 1 space and lose 1 time. I can cope with that since I don't have a choice anyway. So, time goes down by 1. Move 1 space. These 2 are coming with. Okay, I've got 1 more walk. Let's hope it works as well. One success and 1 potential success. I don't have anything to discard to make that an actual success. So it's once again, move 1 space and lose 1 time. Again, I'm okay with that. So lose 1 time and move 1 space, gets these 2 to the exit. That's really good news because even though I can't use the health increase because she's already maxed out at health at the moment, Barbara now flips to her superpower because she saved 5 people and she's got another one right here. For each additional victim saved, receive 1 time. So she gets 1 time back for saving number 6 here. And victims will move into the killer space with you. So now I got my crew. I got to go start picking up people to boost up my damage. Unfortunately, he's killing the people, but I know where a bunch of them are. Okay, that's the end of the action phase because I'm all out of cards to play. So on to the setup phase, or excuse me, planning phase. I think, well, I got 5. Most of the 0 cards have recycled again. So short rest, weak attack. That one I don't have anymore. Focus and focus. Yeah. What else do I want? I should probably get an atonement again because that did seem to help. I don't think I'm going to bother searching anymore because that seems like it takes up too much time. I don't need the rest, so that'll be a discard. The weak attack, it's so perilous. I don't like using it. The focuses I may use to get my horror down. I definitely need to spend money on sprints because I got to make some tracks. So 4 points to sprints takes me down to 1. And if you have a 1, the only thing to do is buy a close call. So motion, motion, all the motion. Then now the walks will recycle so I can have them for next turn. And that's it for the planning phase. So time goes back to 6. Let's see how bad this one goes. I expect the horror is going to be up to here, if not even higher. I may be down to 1 die at the start of this turn, which will not be great, but at least I have those 2 focuses to try and shuck it down a bit. All right. The killer stays where he is and stabs if there's someone there, but there isn't because he killed them all already. So we're straight on to the terror card, which is, if there are no victims on the board, discard this card. Otherwise, increase horror by 1, target a victim, and kill them. So next door, smacks this one. That's 2 victims down. His bloodlust goes up again. Now he can move 3 spaces, and he's still doing 1 damage. The next time his bloodlust goes up, when he kills somebody else, it will activate his dark power, which I really don't want. I guess I should have gotten an attack card. I got to go get some people. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ay, why is it so far away? All right. There's no panic. Everybody's dead. Upkeep phase. I'm keeping the shield location going because I don't have an attack card except that weak attack, and I don't want to use it because I don't have any crew with me to really boost my attack. So, start of the action phase. It's time to do some sprinting. I want to see 2 successes here and move 3 spaces. Well, that's definitely not that. All right, so get rid of 2 cards to make this a success and lose 1 time. So that'll let me move 2 spaces if I throw away 2 cards. Well, I don't like the short rest and the weak attack anyway, so they're out in order to move 2 spaces. 1, 2. I can't believe how far away everybody is. All right, sprint again. Ooh, man, how did I even miss the whole box? Please be a success. Yes. So 2 successes, move 3 spaces, and lose 1 time. So I'm down to 4 time, but I get to move 3 spaces. Finally, that sprint pays off. So, 1, 2, lets me take 2 people with me. 3, back over here. Now you say, wouldn't it be better to, well, no, it would not, because I can pick up time in the Sacred Grove, so I'm going to do that instead, other than just every time I save somebody, it gives me another time, but I'd rather be over here and have a crew with me to beat these guys up with. Plus, I need to deplete how many people are sitting in there. So it would behoove me to instead try to save these 2, boost up my time. I don't have any other moves this round, so that would be it. But that's a tough call. But I think I'm going to stick with my original idea. So, on to focus, since I did need to use it as a discard. I might get 2 time, I might throw away a time. Let's hopefully I don't lose too much. Because I really want to lower this horror down, because we've got a lot of horror increases coming. Or just nothing at all. Nothing at all, in which case I just lose 2 time. I'm going to lose 2 time regardless, so I'm going to use my close call, which costs 2 time, but it lets me re-roll both dice. So either this will work out great, or I'm going to end my turn. It works out somewhere in between. So 1 horror goes down and 1 time. So I lose 1 time, down to 1, but the horror goes down to 4. Because honestly, preserving the... Of course, now I don't really have any cards to buy except... So do I use my second focus? At this point, what's the loss? If I lose time, my turn's over anyway, I'll be out of cards. There's a decent chance I'll at least reduce the horror by 1 more point. So we're going to do it. Last card, last roll, probably. 1 success, 1 potential success, but I have no cards to get rid of it with. So 1 horror goes down again, and my time goes to 0. So I have 0 points to spend, but that is okay to some extent because there's a few 0-point cards I can pick up at this time. Namely, the 2 walks, which really are what I want most, is to get these guys over there and start pounding on that guy. Although I'll need an attack card to do it with. Yeah, no plan's perfect, I guess, right? So put these other ones back up so they can recycle next turn. That timing was not everything I was hoping for, I'll be honest, but I need to keep the horror track down because if I don't have at least 2 dice to work with, as you can see, the odds on anything going well are bad. And in fact, even in the attack cards, you've basically got no chance if you're just rolling 1 die. So, off we go. Nothing's changed. He can't stab anybody and he's not moving around yet. That comes later. Now for the terror card. Make a horror roll. All right. Horror roll it is. 2 cards, or 2 dice, 0 successes. Unleash Killer's Wrath, then roll a die and increase Killer's Wrath by that number. So increased by 2 horror, so all that work I did. And now we roll a die and increase the Killer's Wrath by that now. 1. So it goes up to here, which is target somebody, move, and stab. So he's going to start being on the move from now on. And then target a victim, move there, and stab them. Well, the good news is all the victims are a long ways off. So even he's having trouble getting there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now here's a question. It always says make the decision that's worse for you. So I suppose in this case, the decision that's worse for me is killing this one rather than this one. So 1, 2, 3, and he will stab this one because that takes away one of my minions I'm trying to rescue and doesn't remove this guy from the Sacred Grove. So that's the worst possible choice for me, which sucks, but what are you gonna do? So his Bloodlust goes up, it triggers his Dark Power, oh goody. What's this one today? At the end of the upkeep, make a horror roll. Oh wow, so at the end of every upkeep, either nothing's going to happen if there's a success, or if there's no success, you unleash the Killer's Wrath again. Wow, that's gonna speed the game up because I roll like crap, as you know. Okay, that ends the terror phase, or killer phase, onto the panic phase. Somebody was killed in here, so the last person who's in here is gonna panic and run. And they run in one direction, which, hey, actually, thanks, buddy, is at least in the direction that gets them out of the killer's sight for the moment and puts them in a location I actually don't mind. Okay, so that kind of changes my strategy. Yikes. Oh yeah, and the time reset to 6, forgot about that. Okay. Okay. All I've got are walks for this turn. I got my trash can lid up because I don't have any attack cards to attack with, so there's no point. So it'll be next turn, so I'll need to swap my bat in the trash can at the end of this turn if I can manage to do that. So, do I want to move? Yes, I have to because I need to get my crew together. So I need to walk. Happily, I have that. Let us hope that there is a success so I can move at least one space. 2 successes, you move 2 spaces. That would be ideal because then I could have my crew and be back with the killer all in one turn. Or I could have 0 successes and just lose 2 time. Yeah, there's always that. So down to 4. My only choice is to try one more time. Come on. Nope. Nope, all I did was throw away 4 time and nothing else. I could have just sat there and held on to, oh, that's aggravating. All right, this is one point where the game, you don't like mini games. If the dice ain't in your favor, it just ain't happening no matter what. Can't even walk. Okay, well, I've got 2 points to spend in the upkeep phase. Is there anything that I can spend 2 points on that's gonna help? Well, I got the 0 ones left, the weak attack, 2 focus, and a short rest. I guess the sprint. I don't like the attack at all, but all the good attacks cost either 4 or 6 points, so that's not great. I'm sure that's not an accident. Do I care about the atonement? Not really, it's so high already. Well, yes, I do care about the atonement because that stupid Killer Wrath thing is pretty bad. Or should I use, well, I've only got 2 points, so that'll be that. All right, so I'm gonna have to buy an atonement as much as I don't want to. Drops me to 0. That's the end of the planning stage. Resets it to 6. Start of the stabby round. The killer attacks. He does 2 points of damage. I block 1 with my trash can, so I lose 1 point. And that's one of the 3 uses I can use it for. So let's see if I can grab one of those tiny tokens way over here. Oh, why are they? One thing I do not like, if you have fingers that are even remotely big, comparison, that is just ridiculous. You need a cat or a person with very small fingers to get that out for you. And the problem with it is the cat probably won't bring him back. Okay. So my trash can lid is dented, but still holding up. I've lost 1 point of life, and I did absolutely nothing in the last turn except stand there and be a target. That is so aggravating. Anyway, that leads to the terror card. Let's see how exciting this is. Fickleness of the Gods. Place this next to Divine Wrath. At the end of the upkeep phase, make a horror roll. You may spend 3 time to discard this card. 2 stars, it decreases it by 1. 1 star, no effect. No stars, unleash Divine Wrath and increase it. I mean, okay. I guess my expectation level of rolling well is so low at this point, I just assume it's going to be terrible. But at least nothing else actually happens this round. So that's interesting. And I'm definitely not getting rid of my action points, my time, if I can, because I need to buy cards that do something useful. Okay, so that's that. Upkeep phase. Upkeep. I don't have any movement cards until next turn. So should I go for the weak attack? I don't think so, because check it out. The weak attack is terrible unless you roll 2 stars. And let's face it, I almost never roll 2 stars. So instead, I'm going to focus on lowering the temperature a little bit, even though I'll probably just lose time again, but I got to try. And go for the atonement. So we'll start with the atonement, and we'll do it on the Killer's Wrath, because at the end of upkeep, make a roll, and it's going to kick off every time at the end of the round if I don't roll a star. So yeah, so atonement it is. I still have 2 dice, but just barely. 1 success. Just decreases it by 1. Do I try to do anything else about that? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to live with it. So don't lose any time, and it decreases this by 1 at least. So it'll increase 2 horror increase, so I'll be down to a single die. But there's no avoiding that virtually any of the triggers at this point for the either Wrath. It causes more horror than I can tolerate at this point, which is why we're going to move on to focuses. And it'd be really cool to get 2 stars. Hello, dice, do you hear me? 2 stars? That would be neat. Let's try. Hey, you listened. 2 stars. So the horror goes down 1, and I pick up 2 time. That was the best possible outcome. I don't know that I've ever had that happen with a focus. I'm real happy about it. Do I dare do that again? I do dare that again, because because of the minor or dark power, it can trigger the Killer's Wrath, and because of this card, it can trigger the Divine Wrath at the same time. Now, I can spend 3 points to get rid of that, but at least with this one, it could actually decrease my choice if I get 2 stars or have no effect. So it's not all bad. I can see why it's called the fickleness of the gods. So instead, I'm just going to risk it and play another focus. 1 success. Horror goes down again, and I lose 1 time. That was super optimal. I mean, obviously getting 2 successes would have been better, but considering my rolls, 3 out of 4 successes is amazing. Okay, now do I really want to tempt fate and try a weak attack? No, I don't, because I don't have my bat out. So yeah, I'm stopping there. Short rest. I could heal up, but then it can increase the horror, lose time, and end your turn. I'd rather not. Or heal and lose time, or heal 2, and I'm only down 1 point so far. So at best, this is not too effective, which is true of both the attack card too. Yeah, I think these are generally just discarders. So I'm going to hang on to these 2 for next round. And that brings us to the planning phase, at last. Okay, well, I'll pick up the 2 free walks. I still am trying to get up here to get these guys to get back to this location. So the 2 walks are free. I'm going to buy the 6-point critical blow, because I figure I'll lose my time here in a second anyway, and I'd rather not lose the card if I can. Unless it gets up to 10 on Divine Wrath, then I'm kind of screwed. All right, and I only got 1 point left, so the only thing to do is buy a close call. And let's hope that I can hang on to the cards to the end of the turn. All the time is gone. The resets to 6. Time for the killer phase. He's in the same location as me. Stabby, stabby again for 2 points, -1, so I lose 1 health again. Maybe I should have bought that retaliate. That probably would have made more sense, but I didn't, so there we are. So, another tiny token. Shield's got, oh yeah, sure, roll away. It's got 1 more hit on it, and then it's gonna be dead. Now the terror phase, or terror card, I should say. Every time, oh boy, Killer Wrath is increased, increase it by an additional 1. Okay, well, there's the minor dark power that, hey, the bat's gonna come in handy for. You may immediately discard a minor dark powder, including any health markers remaining on the card. Cool. Okay, well, that's all right. So every time this triggers, he gains a health, apparently, is what that basically means. Although he can't go above maximum health, and I haven't done any damage to him yet, so no big deal. Okay. So there's all kinds of stuff triggering now. I'm running out of places to put these things. There's so much going on. Okay, well, oh, thanks. Well, just pile these here next to this. Outrageaholic and Volatile Temper. I'm getting the feeling the sinking job is not really that nice. That concludes the killer phase. Now we're on to the panic phase. Nobody was here to see the death, so no big deal there. Just the final girl getting slowly hacked up. The upkeep phase. Okay. At the start, oh, that's the end of the upkeep phase. That's the end of the upkeep phase. At the start of the upkeep phase, do I want to switch out? If I don't do it now, I can't do it later, so we're doing it now. That might cost me another health, but that's life. Time to bring up the bat. Now at the end of the upkeep phase, let's start with the fickleness of the gods. Like to see 2 successes. Here's a card if you don't remember. 2 successes would be great. Focus, there we go. And we get 1 success and 1 potential success. Why is it jittering like that? That is terrible. Okay, so I got 1 success, which means no effect. That's the best one could hope for, really. I mean, you know, you could have 0 effect, but I don't expect to roll 2 successes. So that's done. And now at the end of the upkeep, make another horror roll for the Volatile Temper. We're still on 2 dice, which is another reason to try and keep those dice up. 2 potential successes. If I get 1 success, I don't have to unleash the wrath. So I'm going to do that. There goes my weak attack. I'd like to hang on to my short rest, but I guess I'm not going to. So short rest and weak attack go away to make 1 success so that nothing happens with the Volatile Temper. It's the end of the upkeep phase. Now we're on to the action phase. Back to the good stuff. Okay, here's what we got to do. We got to walk. We got to get those people out of the sacred grove, or what was it? The burial grounds. All right, get those people out of the burial grounds. That's 1 space, and for 1 time. Well, it could be worse. I got 1 more walk, so hopefully we can do that again. If not, I've got my close call. I can force a reroll. Which I'd rather not have to do. I'd rather save that for the attack. But we'll do what we got to do. So here we go. Should I switch dice? Yeah, we'll switch dice. Come on, walk. 1 success. Get to move 1 more space, lose 1 time. That's all I needed. Me and the gang are back. And I got my aluminum bat out. Haha. Got a critical blow. Hopefully it's a critical roll. So I'm rolling 2 dice. I've got 2 people there, plus my bat, so that'll be 3 extra damage. So if I hit with 2 successes, I only have 1 extra card, a close call, so at least I can do a reroll if I need to. I can do up to 6 damage and lose a horror this turn, which would be amazing. So let's see how it goes. I will burn the close call. Reroll any one die. So we've got one success already. And let's see another success. Yeah, baby. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and lose one horror. Horror goes down to 2, and the big bad takes 6 damage. I think that's the biggest shot I've given anybody. 3, 4, 5, 6. He is down to 3 hit points plus whatever's in under the token that's his hidden power. And additionally, because I hit him with the aluminum bat, it wipes out his minor dark power so he doesn't get to heal up with these heal tokens. That was amazing. I am very pleased about that. All out of cards, but it was totally worth it for once. So we are on to the planning phase, where I'll pick up the freebies: weak attack, focus, focus, and short rest. I'm going to actually kind of be handy this time. There's a chance everything might get discarded. So what do I do? I'm going to pick up a guard for 2 points, because that lets you ignore damage. And that's going to be handy. I really need another attack, but they cost too much. I could, oh, well, you know what? I should buy the Retaliate instead. The Retaliate lets you hit and ignore damage. And considering I've got both people and the bat, that's a much better choice. So I'll burn all 4 on that. That brings me to 0. Planning phase is over. Resets to 6. And we're on to the killer phase. He is here. He can target somebody and stabby them. He does 2 damage. I don't have my trash can, but I do have the Retaliate, so I'm going to use it. So let's see. 2 dice. 2 successes would be fantastic. Or 0 successes, and I have no rerolls. Wow, okay, so 0 successes is nothing. I just take the damage. Man, that's a disappointment right there. Right, so just take 2 damage then. And we're on to the, onto the terror card. Unleash Killer Wrath. Sure, where he attacks again. It's worse for me if he attacks me rather than them. So he does 2 more damage. So I'm down to 1 health plus whatever's hidden under there. And that's it. Increase that, equal the number of victims that have been saved. Wow, okay, so that's going straight to 10. Killer Wrath all the way up. And now he targets a victim and stabs them. All right, so I lose one of my crew. And his bloodlust goes up 1 point, which doesn't actually change anything in this case, except increase the divine wrath amount by number of people in holy spaces, which is 1. So that goes up to an 8, and killer wrath is at a 10. There's only 2 terror cards left before the finale, and we don't want that to happen because he picks up a ridiculous amount of actions by then. All right, so now we're on to the panic phase. This person saw somebody get killed, so they're going to try and flee. They flee to the 2, which is in the direction I really wish they hadn't gone, because now my crew's gone. Oh, man. Man, oh man, oh man. I need to rally the troops again. Oh, I made a mistake. Well, that's bloodlusty. Note, for each additional damage done, victim is killed, do not increase the bloodlust for victims. So because I did the extra damage, I sacrificed both of those victims. So his bloodlust did not go up to here. And it did not increase that by 1, so it's back down to here. And this person didn't flee because he was already dead, which means that that second attack that happened would have targeted the final girl instead of the victim who was already dead. So, now that we got that cleared up, what that means is I probably just lost the game unless there is, because he does 2 points of damage, I've got 1 point here. If there's 2 hearts under there, I'm still in the game. If not, I lost the game because of that stupid getting 0 good rolls on a guard card. So let's see, did I lose the game? I sure did. 2 points of damage, 2 hearts, Barbara's dead. So it wasn't as close as I thought it was. Barbara lost. We won't get to open this pack. And that concludes episode 4. Well, that just goes to show you, just when you think this game is going great, it turns around and smacks you down. A couple of really bad timed rolls made all the difference, but then again, I had some really good rolls too. In the end, I'm not sure what I would have done different. If you think there's a big strategic mistake, feel free to leave a comment. Won't hurt my feelings at all. Sometimes just the rolls, they're how it goes. If you've ever played any Games Workshop games like 40K, you know sometimes no matter what you do, you just can't get the win. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I am Ray. This has been TinyTableGames, and I hope you have a great day.